It's a kid's movie, Toy Story 4. Now, I am not a longtime fan of the Toy Story series, not because it's not good, but because, I think I saw the first two and then I just kind of went on with my life. I do have friends that enjoy them, and a few of them went to go see the film this weekend, and they said they really liked it, and that's cool. If you look at the overall reviews of this film, it's very good. Verified audience score, 95%. Critics gave it a 98%. Essentially, a perfect movie, I would say. Now, I'm sure there are small things that people didn't like about it, but from the reviews, from what my friends who are fans of the franchise told me, and from everything I read online, the movie did great. Except if you're literally anybody in the media looking for news on a slow Monday. That's right. The trouble with Toy Story 4 and its disability narrative. Toy Story 4 slammed. Towards lack of diversity, anti-feminism, and disableism. What? That's right. By and large, fans have been won over by the heart, the humor, and the existential angst, which have long elevated Toy Story as a classic among film franchises. However, one writer has been left decidedly unamused by the latest return to the toy box and has called Pixar's latest adventure out on its lack of diversity. Speaking out about the new release while appearing on BBC's radio, show writer and theater maker Stella Duffy spoke out about the missed opportunity for Toy Story 4 to commit to more representation for minorities. It's interesting. I've often talked about this topic, and people will misrepresent my point, I think. So I want to be very clear. When I point out Jordan Peele, for example, saying, I don't ever see myself hiring a white actor, I understand that that's his right. I just think it's a double standard. I think it's funny. That's why I report on it. That's why I cover it. And you, the viewer, who I hope has already clicked that thumbs up button and left a comment down below. I know today's kind of a slow news day, but I'm trying to find you some entertainment throughout the day, and I hope you appreciate that. If Jordan Peele can choose to be one way about the skin color of people that he hires, then shouldn't Toy Story be able to be whatever way they want to be? That's my only issue with it. It's the double standard. I've said often, Jordan Peele's first, directorial debut in Get Out was a decent movie. Us was horrible, in my opinion, subpar, transparent, sophomore slump, I suppose. Hopefully he gets back to form. Although what I'm hearing about what he's doing with the remake of Candyman, I'm not excited. Nonetheless, I digress. Speaking about the lack of black characters in the film, Duffy said, I'm the Grinch who hated it. Seriously, it's current year. What on earth are Disney doing having a film that has no leads that are black? As far as I can tell, there are characters who are voiced by black folks. And they are, again, toys in a cartoon. Yes, there are black actors, but they are yellow and green, and they are plush. How could they possibly think that's all right? Yeah, maybe in 1995, which was also wrong then as well, actually. But now, to be serious, where every single humanoid toy is white, it's just shocking. That is shocking. I'm shocked. You, the viewer at home, or if you're listening to this video on your way home from work or to help you get through the workday, I'm sure you're shocked as well. Then you see Stella Duffy going on. Just had my first ever reviewing hate mail as a result of noting on Saturday Review that Toy Story 4 only has white leads, and the Marmette is error misogynist. Lengthy email, and also notes Weinstein and Spacey's problems are due to feminist conspiracy, so obviously taking it seriously. Turning our attentions to the daring and supposedly independent-minded Bo Peep, Duffy says, okay, let's talk about white feminism. It's strange to me that you would say there's two different... I thought feminism was about equal rights for men and women. I didn't know if there's a subcategory of it. I guess I should have suspected that. Oh, look, Bo Peep's a feminist. No, she's not. She's still going to fall in love. She's still going to have a happily ever after, and that's not feminism. Well, I strongly disagree. Is the implication here that you'd have to be unhappy and alone? I guess. I mean, are you making fun of yourself? My cousin, who's on my bowling team, is a devout feminist. I would say second wave. She wears t-shirts with prominent women on them, like Ruth Bader Ginsburg and stuff like that. She's married. She's very happy. We both enjoy life greatly, and our bowling team is doing just fine. I don't understand why that has to be some sort of vow of unhappiness. But anyway, it's a woman who kicks off her skirt to reveal bloomers, had a couple of thoughts, and does some high wire acts. And it's disablist. It covers all the bases. It looks good, but Disney's supposed to look good. There has to be content to the story, too. Well, I guess you just can't please everybody, obviously. Whether or not you agree with Duffy's harsh critique of Toy Story 4, nobody does. Nobody does. Everybody who's watching this video, I can feel your eyes rolling. All right? Nobody agrees with this. Cannot be denied, despite some recent strides, Hollywood has had a very obvious representation problem. Again, this goes back to the old theory that there is some correct amount. If you ask somebody, here's a fun game for you. If you ask somebody, what is the correct amount? If somebody says, well, there's not enough this or not enough that, what is the correct amount? You're not baking a cake here. It's not like you put 2 cups of flour in and that's the recipe. What is the correct amount? And their answer will always be, well, more. Well, okay, but when is that enough? When is more? What is more? Is there a tangible number? Are we going to use the population as a true north? Okay, so if this color of your skin represents this percentage, this is what your percentage should be in Hollywood. I guess that would be the most realistic. Although I would prefer they just hire the person best for the job, but that's just me. I'm part of, I think, a growing contingent of people that just aren't going to the movie theater anymore. Toy Story 4, I think, did quite well, grossing over $100 million this weekend, but many still said it left a lot of money on the table. And I think people are just over Hollywood right now. They're over being preached at in their movies. They're over just the reboots. Obviously, I think the reboots, the unoriginality, that's obviously the bigger issue. I think most folks don't look at a movie and see things where they're getting preached at, or they don't read the director's Twitter. I understand that. People think I don't, but of course I understand that. Normies are like, a significantly larger portion of people, and there's a lot of people that don't know how round Rian Johnson's head really is. These are the people that pay to see movies. These are the people that go to the movie theater twice to see movies, which I think I've never done. Infinity War, I think I did. I can't remember. One Marvel movie I saw twice. However, the movie industry is still a long way off from achieving a proportionate representation. Just 2 out of 10 leading film characters are people of color, while women make up 32.22% of film leads. Again, they never can give you a number, although it's a tad unfair to have expected Toy Story 2 to bear all the weight of this historical inequality. Duffy's response certainly gives viewers pause for thought. No, it doesn't. Do you think all the parents who are just looking for 2 hours of peace and quiet, dropping their kids off to see Toy Story 4, do you think that they're worried about that? Do you think that all the adults who grew up on Toy Story 2, Toy Story 3, and then they came to see Toy Story 4 in their 30s, do you think that they're concerned about that? No, they're not. And you see more and more of these articles. Now, this website seems a little more sus, so I was like, I'm not going to... This isn't really enough. But again, Toy Story 4 slammed. Toy Story 4, the long-awaited final installment in the 24-year franchise, has smashed global box office numbers. Over the weekend, it earned $238 million. Oh, that's global. Okay. And particularly well in Latin America, Europe, but fell short in North America and China. I think we've talked about this on the channel before, too, that the North American market is over it. But the thing is, the reason we're going to keep getting junk movies is because a lot of these franchises are new to, for example, China, where you just have sheer numbers and they'll just go see crap movies, apparently. I don't know. I mean, you can look at Captain Marvel made $500 million globally. I don't know. They'll just go see whatever. And you have, you know, speaking on the BBC Radio, we have Stella, who covered it as well. Peep is a feminist, and that is to be pointed out. Remember that to equality and beyond, Toy Story 4 gets a feminist makeover. With the triumphant return of Bo Peep and the casting of the series' first female villain, Toy Story 4 proves it's ahead of the curve in a post-Me Too era. Why does that? Oh my goodness. What does that even mean? What does that mean? Tell me. What curve? What curve are you trying to stay ahead of? The outrage curve? I suppose that's probably it. And you see, you know, Toy Story 4 escapes the curse of the feminized sequel. With Bo Peep, the sequel fashions a female hero who's more than just a distaff rehash of old male ones. And this is what people are writing about today. So refreshing to see her new lease on life when Woody is forced to choose once more between her and his old kid-centric life. While he was... actually, I don't want to read that. I don't want to spoil it for people that want to see it. But, I mean, this is just the trouble with Toy Story 4 and his disability narrative. This is on The Hollywood Reporter. Gabby is a charming villain, but she continues a trend of disabled characters seeking to, quote, fix themselves. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that if I ask young Crip or Ricky Berwick what they think about this, they're not going to be offended by it. And those are the only two people wheelchair bound that I know. So 100% of the people I know aren't going to be offended by this, but that won't stop this article from existing. Toy Story franchise has never been about disability, yet as a disabled film critic who writes about the topic regularly, that's all I can write about. Isn't that interesting? You're disabled, but you feel like you need to review a movie on that basis alone. There's literally nothing about being, unless your eyes and ears are disabled. If you're blind or deaf, okay, you experience a movie differently. But for the most part, you're watching, this is the same junk we saw where there were articles about the last Avengers Endgame being too long, and that was somehow specifically targeted. It was specifically ableist because some people have, you know, troubles going to the bathroom, and I sympathize with them. But is that really a reason to be upset? You know, Toy Story 4, Shazam, a number of the year's big films have characters with disabilities in them. But it's never enough. I'm sure that these characters are placed in these films for that reason, and people will still complain about it. Despite being a delightfully charming villain, Gabby is one of the several villains this year whose reaction to the disability is to fix it by any means necessary. I'm sure that's not a totally human reaction. I'm sure if you talk to 100 people, let's just say specifically who are quadriplegic, if you ask them, have you ever thought about fixing it? I'm pretty sure they'll say yes, of course. There's nothing wrong with displaying totally normal human reactions to things. And of course, Gabby is a small child. Yes, I think you can reward accepting the lot you've been dealt in life, but I don't think it's incorrect to display that human emotion. But that's Toy Story 4. Definitely don't see it because, you know, it's just, I mean, all these articles just say it's so bad. It's so bad. I mean, it's not doing enough. Toy Story 4, which has, what, a 97% and a 95%, is just not doing enough. I hope you enjoyed this video. We'll talk to you again real soon.